This is Breakfast Daily on CCTV. Thank you so much for staying with us. Now, our personality today is an international fashion designer. He's been doing this for over 23 years, and our conversation will be centered around brain gain, right? Because we're talking about year of return, people are coming back home, and what can we learn from Ghanaians who've been abroad for a very long time and are really owning their spaces within whatever industries they work in. I'm talking about T. Michael. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm very well.
Thank you so
that
much
was a good intro.
Oh, really? Thank you.
I love
Tell
that.
us a bit about yourself and the work that you do.
In a nutshell, my name is Michael Tetanate. I go by T. Michael. My brand is T. Michael Norwegian Rain. I live in Norway, and I've been doing this for about quite a few years, really.
A few years.
Yeah,
That's very modest.
Well, the time flies, and before you know, you're there, right?
Yeah.
So I'm a designer. I train as a tailor, and I wanted to do something else than just being a tailor. And I started designing things, and then I branched out into making shoes, and I did bags and handbags, and dabbled a little bit in films. Because I'm thinking, why not? Mm-hmm. So that's, in a nutshell, that's what I do.
That's T. Michael.
Exactly.
And we'll just call T. Michael because that's your brand.
Michael is fine. Yeah.
Michael is fine.
But T. Michael is like the brand.
Okay, I'll just call you Michael.
Yeah.
Okay,
Let's
Michael.
go. Let's do that. Yeah.
Let's come back to your very early days in Ghana. What was
Yeah.
life like before you moved to Norway?
Well, life was brilliant. I was just like an average kid trying to get around, enjoy myself in Ghana, with no serious ambition really to do anything more than just being, But I like to believe that when you're ready to do something and you actually focus on wanting to try to do something else, the calling will come to you, Wow. And when you find it, it's actually quite liberating because it's like nothing feels like work. Yeah. Everything feels like you just enjoying yourself, really. So that's what happened. I found myself in a situation where I was practically spending all the money that I didn't have on clothing.
How old were you?
I was probably around about maybe 17, 18.
Okay.
I was in London then, and practically life was good, but it was like I didn't feel I was doing what I wanted to do,
What were you doing then?
I was doing different things. I was working in clothing stores. I was actually doing everything to get clothes to clothing,
When did you discover this love for clothing?
Yeah, it's just when you buy the clothing and you come home and then you put them on and then, you get a different feeling than you had in the store. It's like, it's not quite there, and then you pull out maybe a scissors and a sewing machine and then you stitch a little bit and then it starts becoming what you want it to be, But then I met this fantastic woman in London, and I moved to Norway. And then when I got there, I just realized that I actually wanted to do something that was meaningful. We decided to build a family together. Aww. So I thought, if I'm going to do something, this is the time to do it. Yeah. I need to do something that will inspire my kids as well. Yeah. And that's how it all started rolling out. So I took a course in tailoring.
How old were you around
when I started the course, I think I finished when I was 30. I started when I was 26.
26, a 4-year course in
yes,
tailoring.
4-year course, yes. So
how important was it to actually learn how to do it professionally?
For me, it's everything. It's the certain people that are designers and have a talent and they're self-taught. That's brilliant. They can move on from there. The certain people that are tailors and will stick to one thing, that's fine too. But for me, the tailoring course was important for me to get the foundation of what I needed to be able to be the best of what I could be.
And at that time, what did you want to become? Oh,
I just wanted to be the best tailor in the world. It's like this that's it, I wasn't going to be a tailor just to be a tailor, I wanted to excel in what I did. I wanted to be the best at that. So I put all my effort, all my energy, motivation, was totally on a high note. And practically I was done with the course, I think it was until the 2nd of June. And on the 2nd of July was my 30th birthday, and I opened up my studio on that day. Wow. So it was like, it was a benchmark.
How was that like?
Oh, it's magical. I still think about it now, and when I reflect on it now, it's actually quite daunting because I'm thinking, fuck.
Morning TV.
Sorry. So, I'm sorry, but
okay.
I might get a few of those out. Sorry about it. It's not that
bad. Cookies, brownies.
Oh, you like cake, yeah?
Fudge, yeah, let's say fudge.
Okay. So anyway, so when I look back now, I realize how daunting it was when I started it, because I jumped into it without thinking further ahead down the road. But that's important.
Okay.
Because you can analyze things like a million times, and you find all the things that are wrong with your hypothesis or whatever, and then you find that will give you that will fund your negativity about the project, and then you tell yourself, "Oh, I can't do it because,"
and then you end up not doing it.
Not doing it.
What decade was this?
This is way before. I remember when I
70s, 80s.
Oh no! I mean, it was 96.
Oh, you're young. Okay.
96.
90s.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
96. You know.
Okay, so in the 90s.
I'm only 24, please. So, yeah.
Okay, so in the 90s, a lot of people who were, moving abroad,
Yes.
were really focusing on, let me just go to school, get some job, or not even go to school, get some job that I could take care of my families. People were just hustling to build big houses. They weren't really thinking about, what do I want to do with my life? What's the purpose? What's my passion? How did you end up on the path that you ended up on?
I like to believe that you have to be a little bit selfish to start with, to be selfless.
Okay.
Because if you don't nurture the fire in you, at a certain point, that fire will be dead.
Okay.
And then your point is to help people, but then you wouldn't be motivated enough to help people or have the means to help people when you get to that stage where actually you should be helping them. So for me, it was important about making sure I got what I wanted, become the thing I wanted to become, and practically do it in the best possible way.
But didn't you feel that burden that every immigrant child feels in the diaspora, whether they are from Asia or Africa, where it's like you're perceived as the breadwinner because you got out, so you're responsible for us?
I think everyone thinks about that. But like I said, it's important to realize that life is not just about the 4 or 5 years in front of you. I mean, life, you're in for the long haul. I believe I'm going to live to around about maybe 90 years old, so I'm going to make sure that the latter part of my life is going to be amazing. And not because I'm going to sit on my backside and do nothing, it's just because I'm going to be crashing on all the way. And the reason I'm saying that is because I know what makes me tick.
Yeah.
I know what my level of passion is. And if I don't have that ability to be passionate about what I do, then why bother doing it?
And I'm asking you this because, of course, within the context we're in Ghana, where some of us have family members abroad or family members here. Your child finishes school, gets his master's degree, and there's this burden for the child to now make money and take care of the family. So they never quite, it's a luxury to actually say, I want to find my purpose and live the life I'm destined to live. It almost seems as a first world luxury that we are not granted. So how important is it for us to empathize with the youth when they say, I want to find my path and what works for me?
I say hallelujah. You know what I mean? Because it's all about breaking the mold. We started out not having what we wanted, so everyone around you is like a pillar to support you, whether they like it or not. But then the world has changed today. You can be in Ghana and you're connected to the rest of the world because of this amazing thing called the internet. So sitting in Accra means you've got the same opportunity as someone that sits in New Delhi, Oslo, Copenhagen, Tokyo, or London. Now, if you don't utilize that, then you are doing yourself a disfavor. So you don't have to get out. If you do, it's brilliant, but you don't have to get out to be able to achieve everything else that someone at a certain point will achieve. But you have to break out of the mold where you think it's just okay to do X, Y, Z. You should seek out what you want, because I think that's the only way you can motivate people.
Yeah.
People can tell you, do that, do that, do that, but you only listen if what they're doing corresponds to what they're saying.
Yeah.
You know, so I believe people to break out of the mold. You look for the passion, and then you back it up with knowledge, the foundations, so you can build something from it.
What was the first 10 years like?
The first,
as an entrepreneur?
you know, the beautiful thing about fashion design is that is the most difficult business in the world.
Really?
It's ridiculous. You know what I mean?
How so?
Well, because, you know, you can get cheap garments made everywhere. You know, it's like, why would people pay X amount of money for your piece if they can get it from H&M, Zara, or any other store anywhere else for nothing?
What's the average price of your piece?
We do have to talk about that?
No, we don't. But just to put it into perspective, because they might think you're mixed up for. You mentioned H&M and Zara, so we want to put it into perspective so that we can talk about the hard work.
Yes, I understand. And when I mention H&M and Zara, I'm not talking about it from the Ghanaian point of view, but from European point of view, because
the price points.
The price point.
Yeah.
It's very important to state that.
Yeah.
Price point. My suits range from probably about maybe $1,500. My shirt's about $250.
So that's $1,500 for a suit.
Yes, $1,500 for a suit, and then everything else it's based on that level kind of thing. Yeah. So
back to the hard work.
Back to the hard work bit. Yeah. Well, the thing is, like I said, it's the most difficult business in the world because no one is coming to your studio as a young budding designer and say, I want to pay X amount of money for your stuff.
Yeah.
Even though they know you're spending all that time on it, they want you to give it to them for free.
Wow.
Because, you know, I'm going to make you famous. If I wear your clothing, you're going to be famous.
Exposure.
Yeah. Exposure, really, you know. And then you bite into it, obviously, because you're hungry, want to get something done. So you give it to people and then you expect something back. But it never comes out that way. Anytime you give something out for free, it means they don't appreciate it.
Really?
People got to pay for what you give them.
Okay.
You know, even if it's a 95% discount. You know what I mean?
Still have to give.
You got to, you know, people have to give you something. So that kind of giving things away because someone is, you know, it works on a certain level only. You have to give it to someone that's extremely famous.
Yeah.
I don't know those people, so it's not going to happen, right? So yeah, it's very difficult. Business goes up, you get lots of customers for one season, and then it drops down.
What was your customer acquisition strategy? Because back then we were just now getting into the internet.
Yeah,
era.
there was no internet. I was like, you know, the thing is, I was lucky enough to get the newspaper of the town I live in to write about my studio.
Nice.
Because the first studio that was open up, tailoring studio, that was open up because all the other ones were closing down.
Wow.
Because the other ones were based on the old traditional ways of doing things. So I got a little bit of a start because I was doing tailoring in a more modern sort of way. So I got like enough customers to sustain the business for 6 months.
Okay.
So I was doing it, and then after 6 months, it died out because, you know, there's nothing else coming in. But the beauty is, after you've done it for 6 months, then you would know if you actually want to do exactly the same thing you're doing, or you want to try something else.
Yeah.
And I really didn't enjoy making suits for people one-on-one like that because they would tell you what they want, and because you have no say in giving them your ideas, you know?
Yeah.
So after 6 months, you're thinking, this is so boring. I want to do something else. I want to start my own collection as well. So you start doing a bit of your collection, and then you get out the passion bit, and then you come to work, and then you do the suits for them, and then you pay your bills, and then there's a balance of both. And then after a few years, you increase that to about maybe 50%, 40%, and this drops a little bit, and then it starts.
Because then there's now more demand for your collection.
Exactly. People are seeing it, and people say they want it, and the brand is growing. And just because you think, just when you think you got it, boom, product crashes, right?
How?
Well, because you can't always sustain, you can't always get the customers you want.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why, you know, that is, anyway, I'll get back to that in a minute. And then you start doing it again, right? And then you've learnt so many issues, you've learnt so many things you shouldn't be doing. So after another 5 years, you realize that, wow, I was so naive in those days. I didn't know much, you know. Now I do know much. Anyway, but the point is, every time something goes wrong, you have to learn something from it. And when something goes wrong, you actually use all your energy to kind of fight it, right? And then you actually neglect what comes after that.
Yeah.
So usually when something goes wrong, it will come in 3s or 2s.
Okay.
Because you fix this problem, but you forgot to
address the other ones.
You forgot to envisage that you could get another problem. Boom, and it'll hit you again. So eventually you learn that. So when you're fixing this, you're making sure that's fine as well, and then it starts flowing.
Wow.
So the collection is growing. And then 10 years ago, 13 years ago, I met this guy. We started doing another brand together called Norwegian Rain, which it's very simple. We live in Bergen, the west coast of Norway, and it rains 2 out of 3 days.
Wow.
It's like the rainiest city in Europe, right? You wouldn't like it, trust me.
Yeah,
it rains a lot.
I don't envy you.
Yeah, but anyway, I've got used to it. But the thing is, so we started making raincoats, and we decided to make raincoats based on my tailoring, innovation, Japanese fabrics, and use everything that we could find that was groundbreaking and fuse that into the raincoat.
Wow.
So the raincoats don't look like a raincoat, but it's actually 100% dry, keep you 100% dry, breathable, and so on and so forth.
Because raincoats are usually very ugly.
They're very ugly. They're made for you to just cover your nice clothing and then chuck it away, right?
But this not.
But now you're wearing it every day. It's like the rain on, I'm putting it on anyway, you know. so that's what we did, and lucky enough, we met a Japanese buyer, and he loved our collection. He bought it right off the bat.
Wow.
And within
how many pieces?
He bought roughly about 30 pieces right away for the store. And it was the first time someone ever bought that collection. So it was like, wow. We still sell to them, and they also own so many other stores. So we sell to their stores, and then it's our biggest market now.
Wow. So we're going to continue, but we're looking at some of your pieces, and I want you to walk us through what we're seeing. So this one, for instance.
Right. This is I think this is the Gdansk. This is Cedric. He's an artist from Paris.
Okay.
And this is our store in Paris, by the way. That's where he shot from.
Wow.
So Cedric is wearing the what we call the Gdansk, and he's wearing the Norwegian Rain 100% waterproof shoes as well.
Oh.
Yeah, it's practically it's something you can wear every day. It's a little bit alternative though, because it's not our most traditional coat, but it's a little bit avant-garde, and it cuts right with people that want something out of the box.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Oh.
Yes, this is Sasha. Sasha's from New York. She lives in Paris as well. She's wearing the Genève. And then we name our coats different names to reflect. Genève is because it's very diplomatic, Geneva.
How long does it take to make a piece like this?
Well, every collection, we spend about 6 months to work to the next collection.
Wow.
Sometimes it takes you about 4 minutes to get an idea right, or it takes you 4 months. So it's the kind of thing that it gets better with time and stuff like that. It's like, like everything else,
wine.
I suppose. Yeah, exactly. Are we getting wine? It's a morning program.
Morning.
Yeah.
In this one.
Yeah, this one is reversible coat. So this is the first coat that we did with it, because I design fabrics as well. So this is a fabric that I designed, and it's woven in Spain, Barcelona. Okay. So it's got that one side, and it's a plain flannel with a single or mono stripe going through the whole cloth. And the other side, it's the 100% Japanese waterproof, so you can wear it both ways kind of thing. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's still Cedric. Yeah, Cedric is a great artist, by the way. Yeah.
Artist who makes that.
Yeah. And Sasha's wearing the same coat as before, but the female version of it. Yeah, this one, this is a green, beautiful forest green. It's called a Soho, and it has a lovely sort of neck piece which you can detach as well. So it goes from very classical to, oh wow, what is this kind of thing? Yeah, yeah. So this is our guide in the store in Paris as well.
Okay. So you were talking about the collaboration with Y & Sons.
Correct. Yeah.
Let's get back to how big that was.
Yeah.
Especially for the Japanese market.
Yeah. Y & Sons is a company that makes kimonos, and they've been doing it since 1916.
Wow.
They have 140 stores in Japan.
Wow.
And they are the people you go to when you want to order a bespoke kimono. So they're very revered, and they are like up there, So we delivered raincoats to them some time back, and it's the only raincoat that you can wear over a kimono.
Oh.
Because it's called the Rancho. It's got this big white sleeves. It's got structural kind of thing to it.
Nice.
It's got
So the kimono will fit
right into it. So they just picked it up and put it in the store. Anyway, so we went there and I met
Were they made specifically for the kimono?
No, we just made it because we wanted something that was making everyone think, what's going on? You know?
Wow.
And that's the whole thing. You got to...
So it was even by accident?
Well, the design, as they found it, was by accident, yeah, because it wasn't made for them. It was made generally for people to wear. So we met them, and Yajima-san has this amazing style. You know, he's roughly about maybe 69, 70. He wears kimonos every day. He wears it with a white shirt and a bow tie.
Ooh.
He wears it with a hat.
Wow.
And cowboy boots.
Oh, gosh, that is a lot.
Exactly. So when you see this guy, the moment you see him, you realize that this guy is not your average Joe. You know, he knows his style, he knows the traditional kimono, but he's sort of turned it into his thing. You know. So I met him. He introduced me to his son, Yajima-san Junior, and then we decided to actually not the first time. We just became friends really, and we had this friendship going on for about a year. Where every time I go to Japan, we go for dinner, have a drink, kind of thing. And then eventually they were like, would you like to come to the offices and we show you a few things? And then the question was, would you like to revamp the kimono? Give us a new version of it, you know. And then obviously you go home, and when you get into the elevator, you go, yes! You know, all
but when you're in front
there.
of them, you're like, let me think about it.
But yeah, you know, it's like that because they respect your work. And then obviously you respected their work from before, but this is great, you know. So it took a bit of time to be able to gather and muster the courage to actually say, yes, we'd like to do that. I'd like to do that. But eventually I thought, okay, I'll give it a go. So that's when I took the fabric that I talked about with flannel, the monostripe, and I presented a sketch. We went to the meeting with my distributor and his translator, and I presented it, and it was like instant, yes, let's do it. Wow. It felt like the Truman Show. It felt like, you know, this is not real. Someone's going to pull the curtain and say, ta-da!
We're joking.
Yeah, exactly. But we started working on it, and it took a bit of time, and we did it, and we launched it in the biggest trade show in the world. At Florence in Italy. It's called the Pitti Uomo show. And then we launched it. And then I also thought, if we're going to be different, let's try and be different in an even bigger way, right?
I mean, why not?
While we started this already, let's keep going.
Go all out.
Exactly. So, you know, usually catwalk shows will last like 3 to 5, 6 minutes, like boom, boom, it's over, done kind of thing. But we thought you have to get used to the kimono. It's something new, right? So we got this saxophone player, and we built up a set, almost like a platform, like your sitting room, with a coat hanger, a sofa, a mirror. So he comes in, takes off his coat, picks out the saxophone, and he started playing.
Wow.
And the song was a pain in my heart. And now my mind just frozen there with the artist, but it will come.
We'll YouTube it and find the artist.
Exactly. So he was playing this... the saxophone, and then he puts on the kimono slowly, plays a little bit, ties the obi belt, and then he goes through this motion, and it takes about 12 minutes to get it done.
So it's a performance on its own.
Exactly. Normally, by that time, everyone would have left.
Yeah.
Everyone's like,
time
gone.
to go.
But people stayed on. It was packed around the whole area, and people watched it right through it. The most amazing thing is we taught this saxophone player how to wear the kimono the night before.
Wow.
So he really
owned it.
Yeah, he owned it the night. So anyway, so we launched it, and then after
when
we
was
launched...
this launched? This
was launched like 4 years ago at Pitti, in Italy,
so
Florence.
Almost 20 years into your career.
Yes.
Then this happened.
This happens, exactly. So yeah, you got to have time. You know what I mean? So we did that, and then that's when the business starts, because now it's not in your head anymore. It's not in the offices of Yajima-san, but it's come out. So now you're thinking, how are Japanese people going to take this, you know? But the journalists that were there, amazing. Wow. They loved it because, like they said, we can see the kimono in there. It's different, but it's different in a way that I would like to wear it, you know? We took it to Japan. We launched it in Tokyo in our store. There's a few professors coming in from the university and from the museum. You thought they were going to tell you, go to the corner, you're not going to stay there for a while. But everyone loved it. Yeah. So it was, came on TV in Japan. We won a prize for it.
Wow.
And the next season at PT Wilmore, the trade show, all the Japanese journalists showed up in kimonos.
You're kidding.
They rocked it. And in the tea kimono.
The tea kimono, not just any kimono.
Yeah, the tea kimono.
How did that feel? Seeing them in your product a year later.
Yeah, it feels
For
really
the next
good.
season, actually.
Well, the next season,
Yeah.
and it's gone on for long. It feels amazing, and it feels amazing in a very humbling way.
Yeah.
Because you know you've touched and you've hit some nerve that makes it work for them as well. So that was good. And then we started selling in their store. And then the magic thing happens because now they're selling more of the traditional kimonos than before we started the project.
Yeah.
Because this becomes like a gateway to the kimono world for most young people and fashion.
So you're innovating.
We're pushing it forward, we're bridging things up, and it's like... So we've been doing this for we're going to the 7th season now.
Wow. How are the sales like?
Sales are brilliant. It's like every time we make them, we sell out by the end of the season. So it's
how many do you usually make per season?
Anything from 15 per piece to about maybe 30 or whatever. It's like
and you just keep selling out.
Yeah.
Talk to us about the importance of investing in the process, the journey, because we're in a generation of everything going viral. So someone will see you now at this trade show and think, I can also do it in a year. If he can do it, I can do it, without necessarily seeing the 20 years you've invested in it, all the failures and everything else.
But, it's in the same way that you think you want them to slow down. You don't want them to slow down because I didn't start out think I was going to take 20 years to get there. I wanted to get it done right away. And that hunger was what kept me going for 20 years. The hunger for something and the motivation for it. So you kept going and kept going. And then at some point, you get 100 people starting. Some people have the passion, some people just want the fame. Halfway down the line, you lose probably about 90 of them.
Yeah.
Because those people just want fame. The 10 of them are probably the hardcore, really diehard designers with the passion and the flame that you cannot take away. So yeah, I like them to look at me and think, oh, I want to get it done tomorrow, and that's amazing because that's how you look at other designers as well, and then you get motivated and fascinated. So I would like people to think it's easy, but at the same time, you need to invest time in learning the trade or the skills properly. Otherwise, you're not going to last long,
How important is it to take advantage of the opportunity when it comes? Because some people will be training their entire lives for something, and when they get that call, they start doubting themselves. They start feeling this whole imposter syndrome, and then they miss it.
Well, yeah, I mean, why would I be the one that would revamp the kimono?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why would it be me? But
did you ever go through that process, or it didn't come to your mind?
Well, you say yes right away, but after you leave, you're thinking, what did I just say yes to? So, but now I know what I said yes to, and I know what I said yes to means next year in February, on the 29th of February, at the Victoria and Albert Museum in London, there's a new kimono exhibition opening up.
Wow.
And it's called Kimono from Kyoto to Catwalk. Now, my tea kimono is going to be in the museum in the Victoria and Albert.
Wow.
And the best thing about it is going to be in the museum forever.
You're kidding.
So that is why you would say yes and go home and do the homework and show up the next day with the goods. That's how it works.
How important is it to be authentic and just follow your own path, even when you don't know exactly what it will look like at the end of the tunnel?
Yeah. I think it's in you anyway, right? I think everyone has this feeling in them that they're different from other people. And normally, I think most people would try and
dim it down.
Yeah, push it down a little bit so you fit in nicely, and then you get along with people, and you wouldn't be the weird girl or the weird guy kind of thing. It's what we do, and I think as a people, that's probably what keeps us together as well. I don't know, but there's certain people that don't need that. There's certain people that think, what makes me special is all I have, and if I cannot be that, then I'm going to be playing catching up every time. And playing catching up is not a good way to go. So be yourself totally. People point fingers. People probably laugh at you. But hey, at least you're being yourself.
What drives you?
Be myself and being able to place myself in a situation where I think it would be motivational for someone, my kids, that kind of thing. It's very motivational. It's you look at them and then they look at you and then you can think, okay, there's something good going on here, and it's good. Yeah.
What's next for you?
There's so much. Well, now I'm working on the next kimono collection for spring, summer, and I'm trying to bring something Ghanaian to seep it in there somewhere.
Yes, finally.
To seep it in there somewhere. But it's I'm not supposed to be talking about this, but it's I've been looking around and I'm seeing a lot of prints, which is amazing because when I was younger, no one wore that. Now people take pride in it. And it's so great to see that, the way it's become something that is wholly accepted by everyone. I'm seeing people doing things with Adinkra prints on them and tie and dyes and batiks, and I love that, and I think it's brilliant. So I'm thinking I want to bring something into what I'm doing over there, but I want to go a different way. I want to find something that's very Ghanaian but hasn't been used yet.
Yeah.
So that's what the search is on. I haven't found anything yet, but I'm sure by the time I get there, I'll find something that people go, oh, wow, and that's the drive. I might not find it, but I believe we have a vast, rich culture that I'm sure I'm going to find something that no one has tapped into yet.
If you could talk to the 12-year version of you, what would you tell him about the life that he's about to embark on?
Chill, you're fine. You're very fine. Don't stress. Don't do anything different. I think I think usually we like to speed people up. We like to get people going very quickly. Like and I get a lot of late teens and early 20s kids who come to the store and say, "Listen, I know what you do, and I'm looking for advice. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be doing." I'm like, I started when I was 30. You're like 22. What's the rush? All you need to do is make sure you follow the path that your heart wants you to go to. But then you cannot just wish it. You have to actually work for it. Yeah. It's a sweat kind of thing. Tears, it's blood, it's all that. But you don't have to rush yourself. It's not a race. Okay. You get there when it's your time.
So you're back home now. You haven't been back in a while. Touch on brain gain for us, especially in this generation of social media where you don't have to physically leave the continent to live your dreams.
Give me that question again.
Brain gain. You're back.
Yeah, exactly.
Taking something from Ghana, taking it back
Exactly. I've been talking to a lot of people. I had an opportunity to go to this school called Joyce Ababio Creative Design School. And I walked into the classroom, and I've been thinking about this. I've been thinking I'm going to go there, and the pupils or the students will be very humble, borderline timid, and will ask questions, and there'll be no interaction. And I'm thinking, how am I going to break that? Because that is something we have in Ghana, which I believe is not a good thing. Yeah. We instilled so much respect and authority on people. They dare not ask questions. And then when they become 24, we want them to ask a lot of questions. How are you going to do that? So I walked into the classroom, and I'm trying to get them to relax and chill. And I was hoping I'm going to get one question, one question from one person. And it was getting difficult. But we managed to crack the code. And eventually, I was getting up to about maybe 20 questions. People asking questions. So we went on for a long time. But that's the thing. The moment people realize that no question is stupid, then you just say what's in your heart, because that's exactly what you want to ask. Yeah. It doesn't have to be a sensible question. It's just what you think. What is this? How can I do that? And then if there's the situation where people will laugh at you, or people will say, oh, that's a stupid question, or the teacher will say, well, don't ask that. You should know that. So I think people just be themselves. They should back it up with knowledge, education, and everything else. I mean, all that, it's the foundation. You cannot go anywhere without the best education. That's not what you're doing. But after that, you have to be yourself to be the one that goes through the door, So use every tool you have, get online, look at what people are doing out there, and then mix it with your thing, with what you have culturally here, and probably you get something that's magic.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So much, Michael.
Thank
Where do we
you.
follow you on social media?
Fantastic. You can follow me everywhere. You can follow me on Instagram, @Michael_Bergen,
Okay.
Norwegian Rain, Twitter as well, but mostly @Michael_Bergen. That's where I am. That's my home.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Michael is, of course, an international fashion designer, and I hope you've learned a bit about his life and how you can apply it to your own journey, right? So be authentic. Look for things that no one is doing and add value to it, innovate it, and make it your own. And it might not happen overnight, but you have to stay hungry and keep going. Hi there. We hope you enjoyed the show.
Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, and share with your friends.
This is Breakfast Daily on City TV.
Join the Breakfast Daily team Monday through Fridays from 7:30 a.m. to 10. Join us for breakfast daily, only on City TV.